subways with machine guns, it's quite natural that we're under a constant state of terror. That's the only world they've known. The one that will grow up through all the rioting will take that as standard. They will think that those who riot are antisocial because they want more than their fair share, that the UN is dishing out to them. And at the end of all of this, there'll be no memory or history of the world that was before.
And that's what George Orwell talks about, who was a BBC propagandist and openly admitted before he died of tuberculosis, and a lot of evidence showed was killed, that this is the plan he was let in on as a member of British intelligence.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And showing that the British masterminds, not the British people, but the British masterminds are running this. Everything the British government puts out as policy is then mimicked and parroted as official policy in the United States, Europe, Japan, and worldwide. Alan Watt is our guest. We'll talk about the public. Even though world government's being admitted, some of the public still in denial, saying the articles we're showing are fake. They're doing a bad thing right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Alan Watt. That's what I'd call a independent sociologist studying all of this. Or you can define yourself in the work I do. I mean, I guess a real historian studying the elite and their program for humanity. You have these hundreds of articles saying world government's here, world government's a good idea, we're going to put one back on screen, admitting it's tyrannical, but saying it's for your own good. And I guess that's just more of this terrorism. Stage terror attacks, stage financial attacks, give us total power, or the economy will implode. The Congress gives them total power under threat of martial law. The British Parliament's being spied on. Governors are being arrested. All this fear. And then, even though hundreds of papers and world leaders are all over TV calling for world government, I still get emails and comments and talk show hosts and Rush Limbaugh making fun of myself, even by name, saying that none of it exists. So all these years we read the documents, the CFR reports, Carol Quigley, literally thousands and thousands of them on air, wrote books about it, made films about it. Now that it's all happening and emerging publicly, a lot of people are waking up and saying, oh my God, you were right, we've got to fight this. But just as many, I'd say 20-30% of the public, are saying, you know what, they told me previously this didn't exist, so I'm saying you're a liar, I'm saying these news articles are fake, I'm saying none of this is real, and I'm seeing a huge backlash. Now, I know some of them are operatives and paid bloggers, but I mean, it just seems like such an insult to the public's intelligence to openly admit it, and then with the other hand, as this Rakeman guy did a day after he wrote the article, he wrote another article saying there is no world government, you're conspiracy theorists. So can you speak to that?
That, again, is the Limbaugh and these characters, really, their job is to keep the people in the illusion. It's exactly like 1984. The majority of the bureaucratic elite had to believe in the propaganda that was dished out every day. It didn't matter about those at the very, very bottom. They literally will adapt to any system they're given. However, when there's a rapid change in their standard of living, they will kill the messenger. So they had the Limbaughs and characters like that to cater to the masses who want to live in the old think, as they call it, the old system. Even though it is changing around them, they will deny their own perceptions.
Exactly. I always hear Limbaugh and Hannity still saying WMDs were found, even as the UN and Bush admit that it was staged, was fake. It doesn't matter. They still say every day, no, it's real. No, the WMDs were there. Again, they're kind of living in the old model or the old download.
Yes, and that's their job, is to cater to those who are heavily brainwashed, who are timid, who are scared, and who could not face a rapid change. They want to believe that things will somehow get better, but more importantly, they hope it'll go back to the past, and nothing ever goes back to the past.
Well, that's double think, double speak, Crime Stop. They subconsciously, it's too scary, they make the decision to lie to themselves and say it's not happening, even as it is happening, as they put troops on the streets, as Marines run checkpoints at DWI, checkpoints on the road against U.S. citizens. They come back and say, no, it's not true, and then Limbaugh and others give them psychological sounding board or cover to say, see, there's still a media saying it doesn't exist, even as the other mainline media tells the slaves, get ready for this, we're doing it.
Yes, and the rest of the media keeps them in old think with lots and lots and lots of trivia. That's exactly what Bertrand Russell said, to be fed is nothing but trivia. and trivia is mixed with important news, and so they can't tell the difference. Everything is surreal to them, surrealistic, and their world they live in is surrealistic. And when the troops are, just like the Soviet Union, Solzhenitsyn said, he said at first when the NKVD, which became the KGB, came to arrest people next door to you, they would turn the whole street out under Soviet law to witness the arrest. That was to have the powerful effect of terrifying the onlookers, you see.
Now they show it to us on Cops in the News.
Yes, and we have, it is basically entertainment now. I watched, I remember when the Hill Street Blues was pushed up to the top to be a big-time worldwide series about New York NYPD, and it also had the SWAT teams in every series, and they go through all this mental anguish, should they use them or not. But they were getting familiarized to the idea of SWAT teams, and then about 5, 6, 7 years later, you saw it actually happening in real life. So who was emulating who? What we're doing what we're getting through the Hill Street Blues was being familiarized through predictive programming for that which was to
And
come.
on those shows, they would torture innocent people. They would break rules. They'd say, I want to save a little girl, but I don't have a warrant. Oh, screw it. Do it without a warrant. And they make your new heroes the people that torture and violate the law and set people up. And now SWAT teams are raiding Amish farmers who give unpasteurized milk to their neighbors or who don't register their farm when there's not even a law. Now the SWAT teams are used at checkpoints on the highway or to go to people's houses for traffic warrants. Now the entire police force is being converted over to these ring wraiths. Excellent points. Amazing insight from Alan Watt, cutting through the matrix. We'll put his website up on screen. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at prisonplanet.tv. In the future, we'll be going at least 2 hours a day live, so we can put documents up on screen and show you the articles we're reading live on the radio. To pay for all this bandwidth in the studio, we charge 15 cents a day or $5.95 a month. If you get a yearly membership, you get 5+ months free. So you pay for a little bit more than 6 months. You get 5.3 months free at prisonplanet.tv. That is the Christmas special. And so I hope that you will visit prisonplanet.tv and sign up today. We are streaming live to the world right now. And then we also archive this and post it for members at prisonplanet.tv. We're going to go back to Alan Watt of Cutting Through the Matrix here in just a moment. Before we do that, I want to tell you about some of the sponsors that make this transmission possible, and one of them is MySolarBackup.com. A lot of things can cut off your electrical power: hurricanes, snow, ice, and storms. Listeners should move towards getting off the grid, and here's a good way to do that. Because, folks, we have to become independent, not dependent on the system. A solar power generator is now available from our longtime sponsor, Solutions from Science. It's designed to provide 1,800 watts of power on demand in the event of any disaster or outage. You can get an emergency power backup kit, which consists of the Power Source 1800 power plant and a high-efficiency solar panel designed to provide endless electricity. That's right, it generates free electricity. Remember, too, that gas generators need gas, but in blackouts, gas pumps can't pump gas because they run on electricity. The solar power generator is like having a silent power plant hidden in your home. It's the perfect emergency backup for troubled times. Their website is MySolarBackup, one word, MySolarBackup.com, or give them a call, get a free brochure, or order a unit, 877-327-0365. They have these all in stock, the best unit they could find, 877-327-0365. Their lines are busy, keep calling back, 877-327-0365. Also, you know about Ecola Blue, ladies and gentlemen, the atmospheric water generator that is taking the country by storm. It grabs 7.5 gallons a day just with their smaller unit. Very affordable, out of the atmosphere. And then, this isn't just condensate, it puts it through 5 major filters and 2 sub-filters. The water passes through an activated carbon filter, then a silver-impregnated carbon filter, then a reverse osmosis system, then a taste and color odor removal filter, and is stored in an illuminated tank by antibacterial fungal UV light. And the machine comes in red, black, white, green, silver, and blue. And I have one at the office and one at my home, and we love it. The water is incredible. EcolaBlue.com, big banners up on Infowars.com. EcolaBlue.com or 866-585-4044. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going back to Alan Watt, I've been throwing a lot of questions at you, Alan. And I going to put up on screen again just one article because a Bilderberg Group member, Mr. Wolf, is the editor of this, and their foreign affairs editor, Gideon Reichman, wrote the story, and now for a world government. I want to give you some time before we go to calls to flesh out more of, because this is key. In my understanding, but I want to get your view and your nuanced understanding on this in some detail. Again, why now are they not just saying world government is what we need, but that they've secretly, this is all over the news, building a world government for decades. They have an image of cave drawings. That's the editorial cartoon at the top of cave drawings, and then drawn on the wall next to images of primitive aborigines hunting deer and elk and primitive bovine. They have the image of a globe or a world government. The message here I get is, we are the elite. We've been in control of your destiny for thousands of years, since primitive times. We've always wanted a world government, and now we're getting one. The ancient dream is being realized. I believe this is the esoteric meaning